is very compact, very kind of intermingled. You had to assume many things along with that. You see. We'll do it again. Some of these things next time. Some note.
One question. When you
Yeah.
said
Pardon?
first nothingness,
Yeah.
was Satchidananda was he was a lowest Shakti, unmanifest.
Non-manifest, not non-manifest.
The non-manifest divine, yes.
He has the Shakti.
Huh?
He has the Shakti.
Yeah, but it's he has the Shakti, but it's the divine is non-manifest.
Yes.
The Shakti is there.
Yeah, I mean Shakti. But then it is the Supreme who is non-manifest.
Yeah.
He calls her up, his Shakti, and tells her, go ahead and do the creation.
But
He commands her.
is there only this creation? The Mother always says there are so many universes she's creating,
Yeah.
so many millions and millions of.
No, they are material universes.
Yeah.
Apart from material, there are other universes also. Vital world is there, mental world is there, spiritual worlds are there. All the worlds are there.
Unmanifest divine, that means of all these millions of worlds.
No, unmanifest is different than non-manifest. Non-manifest is everything is held back in the form of a potential.
Okay, so
Potentially everything is there, but they have not come into expression.
yes, but normally the mother is the Shakti of so many millions.
No, but it is she who has created them.
So this is really
It is her
not
creation.
creation.
It is her creation.
There's nothing. Also, not only ours, but everything.
Everything. It is her creation. Absolutely. She is the creatrix. Whatever is because of her. In fact, that is precisely the point. Therefore, when Ashwapati is approaching her, he is approaching directly who is the supreme authority of the creation. And if a change has to be made, you go to the direct source, not to any other intermediate god or goddess. Approach her directly. So he goes and approaches the divine non-manifest Shakti.
But if all these worlds she has created, there must then be ending at the same time, more or less.
There are, she has created in her own joy of creation with their own purpose and all that. Yes, of course. Yeah. In fact, the entire meaning of this whole creation of this manifestation, what does she? First thing is the total non-manifest absolute. He comes out of his silence, out of his state of non-activity, his power, his Shakti, and tells her, go ahead and start the creation. The first thing she does is, she creates Satchidananda. So the first child of this mother is Satchidananda. When she creates Satchidananda, then she becomes the mother. Until then, she is just a lady. When she creates Satchidananda, she becomes the mother. And in the Vedic language, she is Aditi, the goddess, the first goddess.
You can repeat the last
Huh?
sentence. You can repeat please the last sentence.
Yeah. The first child of the creatrix is Satchidananda. When it comes out into existence, then only she becomes mother. The divine mother, the supreme divine mother is that, you see. And from that now, the things start proceeding. Other manifestations now start proceeding from Satchidananda, the omnipresent reality what we have in the life divine. Satchidananda, the metaphysical term for the Satchidananda is the omnipresent reality. So out of omnipresent reality, then things start unfolding. You have got the cosmic manifestation, you have got the individual manifestation, you have got the universal manifestation, all those things are there. But the first child of the Divine Mother is Satchidananda. She becomes the mother at that time.
In the Vedic language, you said
and that is Aditi.
Parashakti.
Yeah, Parashakti, you can call it. Aditi means who is undivided, who is absolutely alone, complete, you see.
But I understand she has so many creations, not only our
No,
creation.
no. There is nothing like our. In fact, it is her creation.
Yeah, it's her creation. But she has created also so many other creations, not only.
Yeah, there are, see, I mean, what is the scheme of all those things, what for, etc., that is a separate matter. But the creation is vast, and perhaps she has a purpose also behind that. And the way in which she wants to bring out the manifestation, for that final manifestation, all these thousand millions or whatever you want to call creation have a role to play. They are not there for nothing.
They're not separate.
They are not they have their own, but that will come into play when things have started happening. So, in order to concentrate the effort on the entire manifestation, what has happened is a particular center of activity was created, that is the earth. Once things have been established on the earth, then out of that other creations can be taken up for further manifestations in their own possibilities, They need not be our own possibilities. See, for instance, now we have got the scientific argument, is Earth unique in the entire universe? Are there other suns having planets which are Earth-like? If there are possibilities of an Earth-like planet, is life present there? That is the scientific search going on. Now, I will say that in a certain sense, that is not the right question to ask. That is not the right question to ask. Why do you expect that only when these conditions of climate, temperature, water, etc. are created, then only life will occur? They have their own way of life and other things, you see. It is a wrong suggestion. I mean, we are so much attached to our own way of thinking and all that. See, in fact, I will even say that it is not that because the conditions of the earth, temperature, water, this thing, that thing, air, are like this, therefore life has occurred. It is not that. Life has manifested herself in these conditions, whatever be these conditions. It is the force of life which has really exerted itself in these conditions and sprung up. So, the primary force is the life, not the conditions of life. So, we are taking the conditions and not the primary source, you see. So, same way, when the other creations are there, they have their own possibilities, and it is those possibilities which will come out when the work on earth has progressed in the necessary direction. In fact, Shivandu says in the Life Divine, is that the end of evolution. Okay, you are talking of supramental manifestation, you are talking of Gnostic rays on the earth and all that thing. Is that the end of things? And Shivandu says, no, not necessarily, but those are things of the future, and it is not necessary for us to talk about those futures today. He says that in the Life Divine. Not necessary, because the future will decide its own possibilities. You can't govern those futures today. Which are its own creative power, the power of the truth is there, and it is spread in its own way. You can't predict in that sense, you see. So the story does not end with that. So to think that there will be another sun, there will be another earth and all that thing, I mean, I think it's all right, it's good to keep yourself busy, but yeah, it's good to keep, because the mind has to be active and something will always come out, it's okay, you see. Something will come out, yes.
What about Adityas?
Aditi.
Aditi and Aditya, son of Aditya.
Aditya, son of Aditi. Aditi's sons are called Aditya. Aditya. There are now they are now in the supramental manifestation. 12 Adityas, 12 sons, 12 sons. Not Aditi, not one Aditya. 12 sons. In the description there are 12 sons. In fact, in the Veda, it is very clearly said that Aditi had 8 sons and she left one of her sons on the earth, and with the other 7 sons she went back to heaven. She left one of her sons here on earth, and with the other 7 sons she went back to heaven. The son which is left here on earth is Martanda. Martanda, the one who goes through the mortal process. So, in the language of the Veda, this Martanda is Satyavan. She has left him here in the language of the Veda. Son Martanda in the language of the Veda is Satyavan. In the story of Savitri, it is Satyavan. The 8th son, she has purposely, deliberately. In fact, that is what happened. And it is she now who comes as Savitri to take him back, to remove the grip of death which is there on his soul. So she has left her 8th son here with a purpose, to carry out the evolution, not to throw him into misery.
Yeah, you could think this.
Huh? You see. So there is a creative aspect in that. So the stories are quite symbolic, quite significant. See, but then if you see the original sloka in the Veda, it is just 2 lines. He has said everything. The divine Aditi, she had 8 sons, and she left the 8th son here on earth, and with the other 7 she went back to heaven. Finished. The Veda is not going to explain all these details, write these books, you see.
How did the 8 sons come about and all
Huh?
that? How did the 8 sons come about? And then explanation.
Because that is the knowledge which is there with them in the spiritual development order. Self-possessed knowledge. See, it is very likely that the sloka is there. I got the sloka also. The sloka is there. And all the other people around, they understood what he was talking. He need not give any explanation at all, because they had also had a direct experience of those things, you see. So there was no question of writing a thesis, elaboration of details, descriptions and all that things. They understood immediately everything, you see. But then for us now, it has become abstruse. But again now, Shivandu has revealed in a language which is appealing to our mind, which we can grasp. Because we don't have that inner contact with things. You can of course ask a question. Yes, the Rishi has given that sloka, with 7 sons he went back to heaven and 8 he left here on earth. The Rishis understood. But you can ask, how many in the world really understood? They don't even know about that. Only those who were spiritually developed, who had that kind of a capacity to understand that, they immediately grasped it. They were not writing in a textbook for the students in a university, all those things. Universities, they have come today for us. It is a direct communication of knowledge we had. Therefore, it was a kind of an exclusive club, you can say, that very few people understood, and they kept that knowledge with them. And there was no point in explaining to others who are not prepared. Were not prepared, you see. That was a different time, but now we have to go on through the whole process and we can start that. We can write books now on symbol dawn. See, it is these 2 books plus all that we have got in these 2 cantos. This is what I am trying to present in my book, The Abhirupa, the story of Abhirupa.
In
Yeah. Well, let us see how it goes. You see. It has already come. It has become already a draft is there. About 200 sheets of paper are there. I have to revise and correct them and all that things. So that Abhirupa I am calling it the character, the divine omniscient goddess, who is the creatrix of this world. Let us see how it goes.